Good evening, everyone. My name is Fernando Lozano, and today I'm going to talk about the differences among British English and American English. I'm going to start. It's important to consider why there are words that are pronounced in a different way and have different consonants that sound similar. For that reason, it's important to recognize the similitudes of these words to understand the differences of sounds in spelling and identical scripture words. I'll begin by giving a small explanation about the differences among British and American English. There are a lot of cases that we could see words identical in Holy Scripture. The main difference is that British English has roots from other languages such as German and French. This big influence was introduced to what is modern-day American in the 17th century by the British settlers. English language has evolved for many years. Spelling is one of the biggest cases that we constantly see the similitude of the scripture. For example, the word color in British English and color in American English. The differences of the scripture are remarkable. Noah Webster, who followed up the original dictionary in 1828 with his American dictionary with the English language, discovered this different scripture among English and British language. Also, there are verbs that in British English are spelled with eyes or eyes, but in American English is spelled with eyes. Here we could see the consideration of eyes or eyes to the British language and eyes in American English. So it's important to notice the difference in American English with the letter Z, that it's pronounced as if you made a V sound. But in the other hand, British English has a different sound as if you pronounce the letter S. We can observe another example with ice. In this case, ice ending syllable in British English is pronounced eyes in American English. And here we can see some examples. Another different word scripture is the L is doubled in British English verbs, but in American English is not double. For example, we can observe the double L on this word troubling in British English and troubling in American English. The word archaeology is incorrect in British English, but could be accepted in American English. Here we have a big question why the word is wrong in British English and considered in American English. If we hear the total scripture word, and here you have some word examples. Some nouns that have the ending syllable ends in British English is spelled ends in American English. This tremendous example tells us a lot about spelling consideration because it's considered the pronunciation of the letter Z as S letter. For pronunciation, both have the same and there is no difference. And here you have some examples. The consideration of and ugh ending in American English, as it was mentioned with the example of the words that are considered in British, such as eyes and eyes, which was due to the sound of Z that is unique in American English. We take another example with and ugh that are considered in American English. But in this case, it's due to the omission of UE, because in American English is considered the completed scripture and sound in both cases, such as the words analog or analog, catalog or catalog, dialogue or dialogue. What we need to be careful is the moment of considering both cases in British English, since this language considers the entire word without missing nothing. So it would be correct to use a word with up termination. In conclusion, the words are understood by analyzing the sound modulation and considering the appropriate roots to understand why the word is correct or incorrect that considers the entire word, and an adequate pronunciation for considering the origin of the word to apply in any conversation. This is the case of British English. Also, there are words that both words are accepted due to the sound, such the example the uk and ah. A part of that, why these sounds have the same sound in both the scripture, such as defense in British English and defense in American English. It's important to analyze the situation of having this pronunciation of the words consideration either British and American English. Thank you.